There is a version of you that wakes up before the alarm goes off. Not because you want to, because if you don't get ahead of the day is going to get ahead of you. There is a version of you that has never actually turned in something you'd call finished. Only things you ran out of time to keep destroying. And there is a version of you, sitting right now watching this video, who has spent years being told that this relentless, exhausting, impossible to satisfy version of yourself is a strength. I need you to sit with something uncomfortable for the next 34 minutes. Your high standards were never really about excellence. They were never about being the best. They are not a badge you earned. They are a wall you built. Brick by brick, deadline by deadline, sleepless night by sleepless night, into the most elegant, most socially acceptable, most applauded form of self-protection that exists. Because somewhere, a long time ago, you learned a brutal equation. If I am exceptional, I am safe. If I am ordinary, I am nothing. So you built a fortress out of achievement. You call it ambition. Your family calls it drive. Your boss calls it a gift. But underneath the color-coded planners, the 4 a.m. alarms, and the way you can't take a compliment without deflecting it, is a person who is terrified, not of failing, of being seen, of being ordinary, and finding out that ordinary doesn't get loved. Today we're going to take that apart, piece by piece. And I'm not going to make it comfortable, because comfortable is exactly what got you here. Let's start with the lie we've all agreed to believe. Open any job posting, and you'll find it hiding in plain sight. High standards, detail-oriented, never settles for good enough. We've built an entire culture that treats perfectionism like a personality flex. Somewhere along the way, "I'm a perfectionist" became the acceptable answer to, "What's your biggest weakness?" We say it in interviews like a secret superpower. Cute, a little intense, sure, but ultimately admirable. Nobody claps for the truth, though. Nobody claps when you say, "I rewrote that email 9 times because I was terrified of what one wrong word would say about me." Nobody claps when you say, "I haven't taken a real day off in 4 years because rest feels like falling behind." Nobody claps when you say, "I got the promotion and all I felt was the immediate dread of the next bar I'd have to clear." That part never makes it onto the resume. From the outside, high standards look like discipline. They look like grit, the human embodiment of a motivational poster. But if you've ever lived inside a mind that runs on this fuel, you know the truth. And the truth is exhausting. It isn't the calm confidence of someone who knows their worth. It's the white-knuckled grip of someone terrified of what happens the second they let go. Here's a question I want you to actually answer, not just hear. When was the last time you finished something and simply felt proud? Not relieved, not already 3 steps into the next task, not scanning for the flaw hiding inside the good news. Just proud. Sat in it. Let it be enough. If you're struggling to remember, that's not a coincidence. That's the entire point of this video. Because what I'm describing isn't ambition. Ambition has a destination. This is something else. Psychologists actually have a name for it, and it's blunter than you'd expect. They call it a defensive crouch. Picture an animal the instant it senses a predator. It doesn't stand tall. It drops low. Muscles locked. Every sense on fire. That posture isn't thriving. It's surviving. And nobody can hold it forever without paying for it. That's what your high standards actually are. Not a mountain you're climbing towards some incredible view. A crouch you've been holding since childhood. Because some part of you decided a long time ago that standing up straight and simply existing wasn't safe. And here's the cruelest part. The world keeps rewarding you for staying low. Every gold star, every "I don't know how you do it," every promotion. It's applause for a posture that is slowly breaking your back. Nobody tells you to stop, because from where they're standing, it looks exactly like winning. So let's name the mechanism clearly, because you can't dismantle what you refuse to see. Every time you raise the bar on yourself before anyone else can, you're performing a kind of preemptive strike. If you catch your own mistake first, it can't be used against you. If you demand more from yourself than anyone would dare demand, no one else's opinion can touch you, because you already own the harshest one in the room. High standards, seen this way, were never about excellence. They're about controlling the verdict. You'd rather be your own tyrant than risk being someone else's disappointment. That's the defensive crouch. Excellence as armor, achievement as alibi. If you're busy being the best, nobody has time to notice you might just be a person. Fallible, ordinary in some corners, human with all the mess that comes with it. And I want to be honest with you, because this video has no interest in being gentle for the sake of being gentle. This strategy works. That's the trap. It works for a long time. High standards do get you the job, the acceptance letter, the good grades, the "wow, you're so put together." The armor is effective. That's exactly why it's so hard to take off. You weren't irrational for building it. You built the most effective tool available to a kid who needed to feel safe. But armor built for a war that ended years ago doesn't protect you anymore. It just gets heavier. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's find out exactly where you learned to hold this position in the first place. Part 2. The origins of the armor. Nobody is born a perfectionist. No baby enters the world with a 5-year plan and a color-coded spreadsheet. This is learned, and it's usually learned early, in the years before you had any language to question it. Think back, not to find blame, to find the blueprint. Think about what got you real attention growing up. Not the background noise kind, the kind that made a whole room light up, the kind that felt like being truly seen. For a lot of us, that attention arrived with a condition attached. The A on the report card, the trophy on the shelf, the goal you scored, the solo you nailed, the moment you made someone visibly, unmistakably proud. And here's the part that matters even more. What happened on the ordinary Tuesdays? The days you didn't win anything, achieve anything, perform anything remarkable. Were you still met with warmth? Or did the room go a little quiet? Did the attention just drift, waiting for you to give it a reason to come back? Children aren't philosophers, but they're master pattern detectors. And if the pattern you detected again and again, across 1,000 small moments, was, "I am loved loudly when I perform, and loved quietly, or not at all, when I don't," you didn't need anyone to say it out loud. You built the equation yourself. My worth is a transaction. It has to be earned every single day through output. That belief doesn't stay in childhood. It grows up with you. It gets a job. It gets a relationship. It moves into your adult life and quietly rewires how you interpret almost everything. A boss gives neutral feedback, and some old part of you hears rejection. A partner has an off day, and some old part of you assumes you did something wrong. You're not overreacting. You're reacting exactly the way a child reacts to conditional love, because that's the operating system still running underneath the adult interface. I want to be clear about something, because this is where people usually shut down and stop listening. This is not about blaming your parents, your teachers, whoever raised you. Most people hand down what was handed to them. They were likely operating from their own version of this exact fear. This isn't about finding a villain. It's about finding the source code, so you can finally stop running a program written for a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Before we go further, I want to say this. If any part of what you've heard so far feels a little too familiar, like I somehow got access to your internal monologue, that's not a coincidence, and it's not something you have to carry alone. This channel exists to keep having these conversations, the honest ones most people are too afraid to say out loud. If you want to keep unlearning the things quietly running your life, the best thing you can do right now is hit that button below and stay close. There's a lot more truth where this came from, and I'd rather you hear it from something that actually respects you than from another algorithm selling you a shortcut. Okay, Let's keep going, because we've only just found the blueprint. Now we need to understand the difference between building and hiding. Here's something that might surprise you. Wanting to be excellent isn't the problem. Ambition isn't the villain of this story. There's a version of high standards that is genuinely healthy, and learning to tell the difference might be the most useful thing you take from this entire video. Healthy striving sounds like this. I want to get better at this because it's meaningful to me. Insecurity-driven perfectionism sounds like this. I have to get this right, or something terrible about me gets confirmed. Healthy striving is curious. It fails, gathers information, adjusts, tries again, and stays interested in the process. Insecurity-driven perfectionism is terrified. It treats every mistake as evidence in a trial that's already been decided against you. It doesn't want to improve. It wants to never be caught being anything less than exceptional in the first place. Here's the test I want you to run on yourself, honestly. No performing, not even for me. When you fall short of your own impossibly high bar, what voice shows up? Does it sound like a good coach? Firm, but on your side, focused on the next rep? Or does it sound like a courtroom, sentencing you, cataloging your worst moments as proof of some deeper flaw? If it's the courtroom, I need you to hear this clearly. That voice was never really about the task in front of you. Never really about the email, the presentation, the meal, the way you parented today. It has always been about something much older and much more tender than any of those things. It's about whether you, at your core, get to be acceptable without proving it first. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call her Elena. Not her real name, and not any one real person, but a composite of a story I've heard, in one form or another, more times than I can count. Elena is 31. She has the job title her younger self would have killed for, the apartment with the perfect light for photos, the relationship that looks stable from every outside angle, a calendar so full it looks like a Tetris board won by an expert. If you met Elena at a dinner party, you'd walk away thinking, I need to get my life together like her. Here's what you wouldn't see. You wouldn't see her at 11 p.m. rereading a Slack message she sent 6 hours ago, convinced one slightly too casual sentence is going to reveal she doesn't actually belong in that role. You wouldn't see the folder on her laptop labeled Old Drafts, holding 4 versions of an email her coworker will only ever see one draft of. You wouldn't see her deflect a well-earned compliment from her partner with a joke, because sitting inside it, even for 3 seconds, feels unbearably exposing. You wouldn't see that Elena hasn't felt caught up in 11 years. Not once. Every finish line she's crossed has revealed another one, slightly further away, slightly higher. She told me once, and this is the line that stays with me, I keep waiting to arrive somewhere that finally feels like enough, and I'm starting to think the place doesn't exist. I think I built it that way on purpose, so I'd never have to stop moving long enough to find out if I'm actually okay. That sentence is basically the thesis of this whole video. Elena isn't lazy. She isn't unaccomplished. By every external measure, she's thriving. And she's also, quietly, exhausted in a way she's never told a single person. Because the exhaustion itself feels like a confession she can't afford to make. If any part of Elena's story just made your chest feel tight, notice that. Don't rush past it. That tightness is information. Part 3. The illusion of control. Let's talk about the most quietly terrifying word in your vocabulary. Ordinary. Say it to yourself. Not average as an insult, just ordinary. A regular Tuesday. A meal that was fine. A presentation that was solid, not spectacular. A version of you that didn't win anything today, didn't impress anyone today, just existed today. Does some part of you recoil from that? Does it feel less like neutral ground and more like a threat? For a lot of us, ordinary doesn't register as safety. It registers as the edge of a cliff. Because somewhere along the way, ordinary got fused with a scarier word, forgettable. And forgettable got fused with an even scarier one, unlovable. Here's the quiet logic running underneath so much perfectionism, and I want to say it out loud because it rarely survives being said out loud. If I'm not exceptional, I won't be noticed. If I'm not noticed, I don't matter. If I don't matter, I'm at risk of disappearing entirely. Not physically, but in every way that counts to a nervous system that just wants to feel safe and seen. That's not a rational calculation. That's a childhood fear wearing an adult's clothes. But it feels completely rational because fear always feels rational from the inside. So what do you do with a fear that size? You build a system to manage it. And high standards are, in many ways, the most sophisticated control system a human being can construct. Think about it. The world is unpredictable. People leave, markets crash, bodies get sick, plans fall apart for reasons that have nothing to do with how hard you tried. That unpredictability is genuinely terrifying if you sit with it too long. But performance feels controllable. If I just work harder, prepare more, plan further ahead, catch every mistake before anyone else does, maybe, just maybe, I can out-prepare chaos itself. Maybe I can perform my way into safety. High standards become a bargain you strike with an uncertain universe. I will be flawless, and in exchange, you're not allowed to hurt me. The universe never signed that contract, of course. It was never going to. But your nervous system doesn't know that. It just knows that vigilance feels like doing something, and doing something feels infinitely safer than facing how little control you actually have. Let's get into the biology for a second, because this isn't just a metaphor. It's happening in your body, right now, in ways you can probably feel if you pay attention. When you set an impossible standard and inch toward it, your brain doesn't register the progress the way you'd expect. Anxiety-driven achievement runs largely on your sympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for fight or flight. Cortisol rises. Your body treats the deadline the way it would treat an actual predator. Heart rate up, focus narrowed, rest suppressed, because resting in front of a predator gets you killed. The problem is, that system was built for short bursts. A few minutes of real danger, then safety, then recovery. It was never built to run for years. But insecurity-driven perfectionism doesn't offer a few minutes of danger. It offers a moving goalpost forever. You hit the target, and instead of the relief you were promised, your mind quietly builds a new target slightly further away, because relief was never really the goal. Managing the fear was the goal, and the fear was never actually coming from the target. This is why success doesn't feel like success for you. This is why the promotion lasted about 6 hours before the anxiety found a new home in the next challenge. You're not broken, and you're not ungrateful. You're a person whose nervous system has been sprinting a marathon, mistaking the finish line for the source of the pain, when the whole time the pain was in the running itself, in the belief that you can only rest once you've outrun being ordinary. You can't. Ordinary was never the actual danger. The danger was always the belief that ordinary meant unlovable. Now, I could stop here, and you could walk away from this video with a working theory of why you are the way you are. But understanding the mechanism isn't enough if we don't talk honestly about the price it's charging you. Part 4. The brutal cost of the mask. So let's talk about the bill, because armor is never free. Everything we've covered so far comes with a cost, and I want to walk through it clearly, because I think you've been paying it for so long, you've stopped noticing the withdrawals. First, burnout. Not the trendy caption on a vacation photo version, the real kind. The kind where your body starts sending invoices your mind has been ignoring for years. Sleep that doesn't feel restful even when you get enough hours. A body that stays tense in moments explicitly designed for relaxation. A mind that can't enjoy the vacation because it's already 3 steps into planning what comes after. This isn't a productivity problem. This is a nervous system that has never once been told it's allowed to stand down. Second, imposter syndrome. And here's the twist almost nobody says out loud. Imposter syndrome isn't the opposite of high standards. It's the direct result of them. When your entire sense of worth is built on flawless output, every success feels less like evidence of your ability and more like a debt. You didn't earn it. You got away with it. So now you have to be even more vigilant, Because surely this time, someone's going to notice the gap between how good you look and how uncertain you feel underneath. The exact perfectionism you think is protecting your reputation is the thing manufacturing the fear that your reputation is a lie. Third, and I need you to really listen to this one because it's quiet, the inability to let a single win just be a win. Think about the last real accomplishment in your life. Did you let yourself sit in it? Or did your mind do that thing where it immediately hunts down the flaw, the yes, but, the reason it doesn't fully count? Yes, but I could have done it faster. Yes, but someone else would have done it better. Yes, but this doesn't fix the deeper problem that I'm not enough. When you can't let a win be a win, you're not living inside your accomplishments. You're living inside a debt you can never pay off, because the currency you're using, perfection, was never real to begin with. Now let's talk about something more painful, because this cost doesn't stop at you. It reaches the people closest to you. Here's what almost nobody warns you about hidden insecurity. It doesn't stay hidden. It leaks. And it usually leaks sideways onto the people who least deserve it. If your worth is contingent on flawless performance, some part of you quietly, often unconsciously, starts expecting that same impossible standard from everyone around you. Let me give you a quick picture of this. I'll call him James. His partner takes a little too long to text back one evening, and something in James's chest tightens before he can stop it. Some old alarm reading carelessness where there was only a dead phone battery. A friend cancels plans for the third time this month, and James doesn't feel mild disappointment. He feels a verdict about how much he actually matters to anyone. His daughter brings home a B on a test, and James catches himself already rehearsing a conversation about doing better before he's even asked her how she feels about it. James isn't a bad partner, a bad friend, or a bad father, but he is projecting a standard he was never fair to hold himself to onto people who never agreed to live inside his fortress. And the tragic thing is, the people who love James don't need him to be flawless. They very rarely ever did. What they need is James, actually present, actually reachable, not performing from behind glass. And here's the final cost, wrapped in the cruelest irony of this entire video. Your high standards, the very thing you believe is propelling you toward your potential, are very likely the thing quietly capping it. Think about it honestly. Perfectionism doesn't make you take the bold swing, it makes you take the safe one, because the safe one is less likely to expose you. It doesn't push you to start the business, write the book, ask the question in the meeting, put your real voice out into the world, because all of that risks being seen clearly. And being seen clearly is the exact thing your armor was built to prevent. Insecurity dressed as high standards will always choose the polished, safe, controllable path over the bold, exposed, potentially extraordinary one. You think you're protecting your potential. You're actually rationing it, one safe decision at a time. So now you know where it came from. You know what it's costing you. The only honest question left is, now what? Do you keep crouching because the crouch feels familiar? Or is there a version of you that finally, carefully, stands up?
Part 5. Dismantling the crouch. Here's the question I imagine you're actually asking right now. If I put the armor down, don't I just become soft, unmotivated, someone who stops trying? No. And I need you to actually believe this, because it's the hinge this entire video turns on. The opposite of insecurity-driven perfectionism is not laziness. It's freedom. You are not being asked to lower your standards. You're being asked to change what's underneath them. Keep the ambition. Keep the drive, the craft, the refusal to phone it in. What you're releasing is the belief that your worth is the prize waiting at the finish line. Ambition fueled by curiosity and meaning will take you further than ambition fueled by fear, and it won't cost you your nervous system on the way there. So let's get practical. Not vague, poster quote practical, actually practical. Step 1. Separate the performance from the person. Every time you finish something, a project, a conversation, a decision, ask 2 separate questions.
not one blended together. Question 1. How did the work go? Question 2. Completely separate. Am I still a person worthy of love and belonging, regardless of the answer to question 1? The second answer should never change based on the first. If you notice that it does, if one bad meeting makes you feel like a bad person, that's the fusion we're trying to break. Worth and performance are not the same variable, even though your nervous system has spent years insisting they are. Step 2. Practice being witnessed in your ordinary moments, on purpose. This one is uncomfortable, and I want you to do it anyway. Let someone see you on a day you didn't perform. Send the text that isn't polished. Show up to the thing without over-preparing for once. Let a friend see the tired version of you, the version with no achievement to offer that day, and pay close attention to what actually happens. In almost every case, the connection doesn't disappear. It deepens. Because real intimacy was never built on your highlight reel. It's built in the ordinary footage you've spent your whole life editing out. Step 3. When you catch that inner courtroom voice cataloging your flaws like evidence, try something that feels almost absurdly simple. Ask it one question. Would I say this to someone I loved in this exact situation? If the honest answer is no, you don't get to say it to yourself either. Not because you don't deserve honesty, you do, but because what that voice is offering isn't honesty. It's cruelty wearing honesty's clothes. Real honesty is direct and kind at the same time. It tells you the truth and stays on your side while it does it. And step 4, the hardest one. Let something be good enough, on purpose, as an experiment. Pick something low stakes this week. Send the email on the first draft. Let dinner be fine instead of impressive. Sit in the discomfort. It will be uncomfortable, I won't pretend otherwise. And notice that the sky doesn't fall. The flaw doesn't disappear. You are exactly as lovable at 7 out of 10 as you believed yourself to be at 10 out of 10. The gap you were so afraid of was never as dangerous as your nervous system promised you it would be. This is what radical acceptance actually means, and I want to be precise about it, because it gets watered down into a fridge magnet a lot. Radical acceptance isn't giving up, it isn't resignation. It's the decision to stop making your worth conditional on an outcome you can't fully control. It's standing up out of the crouch, slowly, carefully, the way anything stands after holding a position for far too long, and discovering you're not immediately in danger. That the predator you've braced against for years was never actually standing there. It was a memory, old weather, a storm that already passed, and nobody ever sent you the message that it was safe to come out. If you take one thing from the next 30 seconds of your life, let it be this. You were never ordinary in the way you feared. You were just a person, and person was always going to be enough, long before you ever earned a single achievement to prove it. The love you were chasing, the safety you were engineering, the belonging you were trying to build brick by brick out of gold stars and good grades and flawless output. It was available to you the entire time, on the days you had nothing to show for yourself at all. You just couldn't see it, because you were too busy crouching to ever stand up and look. Put the armor down. Not all at once. Not perfectly. Please, not perfectly. That would just be the same trap wearing a new outfit. Just a little. Today. Go find out what it feels like to take up space without earning it first.
If this video found you at the right moment, if some part of you has been holding this crouch for years and is only just now realizing it's allowed to stand up, don't let this be a video you watched and then quietly returned to old patterns tomorrow morning. Stay in this conversation. Hit the button below, and let's keep working through this together, one honest video at a time. Not because you need to be fixed, because you deserve company on the way to finally putting the armor down. You were enough before any of this. You're enough right now, exactly as you are, mid-scroll, unfinished business and all. And you'll still be enough tomorrow, whether or not you achieve a single thing. That was always the truth sitting underneath the armor. Now you finally know it.